You're listening to Living Out Loud with my mom, Michele Flamer. Yep, she's a flamer and proud of it. Get ready to learn about queers in your communities doing great things every week.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Out Loud. Today's guest is someone who has spent his life making sure more people have a seat at the table. Mark Barlet is a proud member of the LGBTQ plus community, a U.S. Air Force Service-Disabled Veteran, the founder of the AbleGamers Charity, and widely recognized as one of the pioneers of the accessibility movement. What started as a simple desire to help a friend continue playing video games grew into a global movement that has changed how companies think about accessibility, inclusion, and innovation. Along the way, Mark built one of the most respected organizations in the accessibility space, earned multiple patents, received national recognition for his leadership, and has been featured by CNN, NBC, Wired, the New York Times, and the Washington Post. Today, through his company Access Forge, Mark is helping businesses understand something many still overlook. Accessibility isn't just about compliance. It's about creating experiences where everyone belongs and unlocking opportunities that benefit everyone. Mark's personal motto is one I think many of us need to hear. Never wait for permission to change the world. It will never come. Mark, welcome to Living Out Loud. Hi.
Thank you for having me. Thanks. It was a great introduction. I really sound
Thanks.
important, but I don't feel that important. So
I think everybody deserves an important feeling introduction in life. I think it's what I love about the podcast is like I get to do these intros and no one's dead yet. You know what I mean? Like we're only doing those like over a funeral, unfortunately. But I feel like I want to, give that respect while we're alive and well and are going to have what I'm probably excited about is our conversation. One thing that I didn't mention in the pre-chat, which is what I love to do and start with each guest who is willing to talk about their past a little bit and their coming out story. And if you're okay with that, I would love like looking back at your younger self, and also answer the question when you get a chance, what part of who you are today would surprise him the most, little Mark?
it's a really interesting one. So I have two coming out stories, and
Okay.
one of them I would say isn't really safe for work. So I don't know what your audience is like, but
LGBT, it's all our community listening.
So, my mother found out I was gay and I was kind of outed because and I'm aging myself pretty badly here, but I'd written a letter, but never mailed it to President George Bush, the first one,
Okay.
because I wanted a career in the military. I was planning a career in the military, and people who were gay weren't allowed to serve. This was, when it was forbidden. And so I'd written
During
this
Desert Storm.
Yeah, we're talking, yes, like 1991 and stuff like that.
So that's when I served also.
Ah, well,
And they
from
weren't allowing,
one
they
veteran to
weren't
another,
allowing
thank you for
women
your
to,
service.
oh, no problem. But they weren't allowing women to go to war at that time. Plus, we were dealing with don't ask, don't tell.
Well, don't ask, don't tell hadn't even been passed yet.
Yep.
And I never mailed that letter, but my mother, in her ongoing quest to snoop, had found the letter, and that's what brought my me being gay to my mom's attention. And I wish I had a wonderful coming out story. I didn't. I was an only child and of a baby boomer mom who really, did what a lot of moms did, which was, how does this affect me? And was really, while not necessarily unsupportive, was absolutely not supportive. I cry every time I see young people telling their parents that they're gay and the parents just accept them like, wow, that's a thing. Um, my my less work was when coming out to my stepfather, who had been in my life since I was like 6 or 7. He's a 6'8" man, very
Wow.
tall, everything like that. And
Mhm.
I never said anything to him, like into my 20s. I never said anything to him. And I had met my still husband of almost 32 years now.
Love that.
And my mom said, I'm still active duty. I'm still a 20-year-old. You probably should say something to your dad because it looks like you're pretty serious with Michael. And I said, great, we'll have dinner. I was actually stationed at MacDill Air Force Base down in Tampa, which is where I was from high school and everything like that. So like my second duty station, I was literally eating dinner at my parents' house and stuff like that. So you understand
I have a
that
similar story. It's just funny. Okay, yeah, keep
I
going.
rarely, during my entire military career, rarely left home. I did phase 1 where my grandparents lived, phase 2 where my parents lived. Um,
Join the military, they said. See the world, they said.
I saw everything I've seen since I was a child. Uh, and I was really sheepish. I was really kind of like, and as we were getting into the car, my stepdad said, Mark, what's wrong? You're not being normal.
Mm.
And, and I wasn't being normal. And he goes, what? I said, well, I have something really important to tell you. And he's like, yeah, you like to suck dick. Let's go to dinner.
Okay, so in that moment, what
I
was
was
going through your
floored.
head?
I was floored. My mother is
Bet.
rolling. She is rolling. And we get into the car, and my dad's like, I've known you were gay for years. Like, hello, I'm not blind. And I've just been waiting for you to tell me all this time. So, it's really interesting as in retrospect, years later, felt that as to be a very supportive and very uplifting coming out story.
Mm-hmm.
So, there it is.
I
Now
love
I've
it.
never told, as you said in the intro, I've been interviewed everywhere from CNN to the New York Times and never been asked. In
Yes,
fact,
I snagged the biggest part of it all.
well, I'm known for the work that I've done at AbleGamers in this world that I've created that, in fact, no one's ever asked me about me as a human being and being a gay man.
Mm.
I've never been actually queried on that. So congratulations. You're the first person to ask anything about that.
Well, I'm happy about that. I mean, I'm happy to ask you, and because our audience, I think it's something really valuable for our youth right now with what's happening, in politics and in DC. And I'm glad he was not our chief, at the time. That would have really been harder for me, to be in the military with all the other things that we have to like fight through. But I did really enjoy serving, except I grew up in LA, and I served at Edwards Air Force Base, which is in the Mojave, which is literally Palmdale, Lancaster, 45 minutes from my house that I grew up from.
I did my basic training in San Antonio, where
Me
my mom
too.
was born and everything
Yep.
like that. I did my phase 1 at Shepherd Air Force Base in Wichita Falls,
Okay,
which is where
that's where I was born, by the way.
okay, so I was born in Dallas. My grandparents lived in there. Then I went and did my phase 2 of my training in Tampa, which is where I graduated high school. And it wasn't until I got to my first duty station, Andrews Air Force Base outside of Washington, D.C., where I'm currently based, that I actually left home. But then I come to find out my stepfather, whom I just told that story about,
Yeah.
um, after I got out, I went back to Tampa for a while, and then Michael and I really decided we loved DC, so we moved up to DC. We ended up buying a house in Columbia Heights. My stepfather came up, my parents came up to see the house and everything like that. And my dad's like, you realize your great aunt lived across the street from where you live right now. I lived 1.5 blocks away at that apartment building over there, and your grandmother used to. And so little did I know, like, I moved from Tampa to DC, and I moved to the very neighborhood that my stepfather left in 1968 during the riots. I moved to like
Wow.
within blocks. So I don't know if I've
Wow.
ever left home.
That's so fascinating. What? Wow. I have to just sit with that for a second because that's my spiritual side of me says, well, all of this was designed for you. You were meant to break some of these patterns, right? Because one of my questions to you was really like, as a gay man who has been with your husband for 32 years, what have you learned about love that you wish more people understood? And I feel like you've had to really you're learning about love, like in all these I don't know, it's just kind of fascinating.
My husband and I feel like we have a book in us because the truth
Mm-hmm.
of the matter is, of our 32 years, we've probably had 5 fights.
Gosh, it's beautiful.
And
Very
people
aligned.
people ask us like how do you do that? And I always say that there are a couple of things that I think are really important. And I think couples, gay, straight, whatever it is, one, have your own stuff to do.
Yeah.
I can't miss you if you don't leave.
Mm,
And I see so many couples who, let's do everything together. No,
right.
no, you need to have your own friends group. He has
Wait,
his
does
own
that
friends.
happen in the men's community too? Because we know that's a totally lesbian thing.
It's I think it's a universal thing,
Okay.
but I see it a lot in straight couples as well. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, have your own stuff to do. We also we have something called the willing to die on the cross conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll give you some really silly examples.
Okay.
All the toilet paper in my house is hung incorrectly. It's hung with the paper towards the back. Okay? But it's not important to me. It's
Mm.
important to my husband. That's the
Hmm.
way it should be. He's wrong. He's fundamentally wrong. I can say that to you. He probably
Yes.
won't hear this podcast. He knows I know it's wrong, but he's willing to die on the cross for it. I'm not. So I hang it the wrong way every time. And we do that throughout our entire life.
Mm.
Hey, this is wrong. Well, who's it more important to? For me, I'm a linens person. I have a major sleep disorder. I am a person with disabilities.
Yeah.
My military service gave me narcolepsy as
Mm.
a consolation prize. I want sheets that are as crispy as you get in the hospital. The ones that you think you don't like, but you'd actually love. My husband doesn't love the sheets that I choose. I only buy them from one company. I wait till they go
Mm-hmm.
on sale and I buy them again. But I'm willing to die on the cross for that. Therefore,
Gotcha.
it's not a fight. And I think that's one of the things a lot of couples don't do is have communication that's so open. We can say, hey, pause. This feels like a friction.
Mm-hmm.
Let's suss out who cares about this more.
Mm.
And then, because I always believe there are 3 people in a relationship, you, your partner, and us.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
This feels like friction. Which one of us cares about this more? And
Yeah.
then because I love the us and I love him, I yield. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to fight. And
Mm-hmm.
I see so many couples looking
Wait, but
for
how do you
things to,
know when it's like genuine and and one of you aren't just being contrary or just an asshole in the moment?
well, because we've been together for 32 years. So trust me, I know when he's
Yeah,
goofing
no.
off. But the
You're
truth
like,
is, we also understand the game we're playing at that point. Therefore, it's in our best interest to be genuine. It's
mm,
in our best interest to be
yeah.
genuine. One of the examples is my husband grew up, his parents were mechanics. he has a visceral issue with car maintenance and mechanics stuff.
Okay.
I recognize it in him. Doesn't bother me. So he will come in and say, Mark, the truck says it needs an oil change. It's his truck. It's not my truck. It's his truck. But all he says is, it says it needs an oil change. Got it, babe. I'll take care of it. Because the us between you and me and us is I don't want him to have friction.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's my thing.
It's really beautiful
have your
how
own
you
stuff to
approach
do.
it.
Have your own stuff to do. Because I can't miss you if you don't leave.
Mm-hmm. I really love that.
How was your golfing event? It was fine. Let me tell you about this, that, or the other. How was the thing that you did? After 32 years, it gives us something to talk to each other about. We got nothing to say to each other. And don't fight. If you see friction coming on, have a discussion to see who really cares and invest in the us, because it's us against the world.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
You, me, us against the world.
I really like that. What did belonging mean to you when you were younger, and what does it mean now?
That's a tough one. I think it's a tough one even today because we have a social isolation crisis in this country. And I dare say I am part of that. I am socially isolated, and I have a small friends group, but we're all busy living our lives, and therefore we have to pause and remember to check in with each other. And so I can honestly say I don't know if I have a place of belonging. My husband and I moved out of DC back in the early 2000s. We live on a top of a mountain in West Virginia, still in the DC metro area. The state line of Virginia is 100 yards from my house, so we barely live in West Virginia. But I long for a place to hang out. There's a concept in social sciences called the third place. We had, you have work, you have home, and you have the third place. The pub, the bar you stopped at on the way home, the social thing, and we're missing the third place, and a lot of us are missing that third place. And there's some definitions around what the third place is. It's not a place for politics. Everyone is equal. You're all there. It's a shared community and everything like that. And I think we're all missing kind of that third place, and we're all longing for that. I would give anything for a small little comfortable dive bar. I don't even care if it was gay or straight or anything like that. It just, I could go in, grab a drink, say hi to some people, and check in on the world and go home like you would do, like my grandfather did. My grandfather used to get off of work. There was a bar right outside of the airplane factory he worked at.
Yeah.
He'd have a drink, he'd say a couple things, and then he would head home. We're missing that.
I think it's interesting because what you're saying, I'm seeing in my feed a lot because I want to buy a piece of property, right? And create that communal kind of space where even if people are temporarily just bringing their RV and parking it there because, it's inexpensive, or they want the experience for a while, but don't want to root themselves in it. But with an outdoor communal area of an outdoor kitchen, the barbecue pit and the fire. I think you're right. I think people are, even because of what's happening, I think it's forcing us all to go one inward. Like you said, you're kind of isolating a little bit because it's that protection, but also craving connection.
We are craving connection. I mean, I take my corgi to day camp every Wednesday, and
I love corgis.
There's a couple that was, interestingly, during drop off and pickup, we were kind of interviewing each other. Hey, how's it going? Tacitly kind of ding, 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 because our
Are we
dogs play
yeah,
together.
are we compatible here maybe
Are
to
we,
be
well,
friends?
because of the political environment that we're in and everything like that.
Yes, yes.
And then finally the woman goes, can we invite you? Like, we stopped literally car to car. They were can we invite you to the house for dinner? And I'm like, well, we're a gay couple. Like, I just said it. Michael was in the car. And she's like, yeah, I figured that out. But you have dogs. We have dogs. We have property. You have property. You seem cool. You want to hang out? Sure. And
I
Michael
love
and I
that.
are kind of excited because we might have some friends. Like,
Yeah.
we text each other now, and I'm like,
Aw.
this is weird. I'm asking how they're doing, and they're pinging me to see how something went.
It's beautiful.
And to that point, they kind of confessed that they were in that same boat and was just needing
Mhm.
another couple to break up the sameness that a lot of us, I think, are kind of living in a Groundhog Day.
Yeah. I'm going to pivot for just because I really want to talk about AbleGamers a little bit. But before that, I really love this quote from, like, you often say, never wait for permission to change the world. What experience taught you that lesson?
The world taught me that, to the creation of AbleGamers. I created AbleGamers because my best friend was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and I was watching
Mhm.
her social window being ripped away from her by a disease. I'd never thought about how people with disabilities played video games, even though I was a person with disabilities, because my disability largely never affects the way I approach technology. It was
Mhm.
only when it happened to someone that I loved, whom I also used games to stay connected with,
Yeah.
that I realized it. But I was no expert in this. I had some programming background and I had an engineering background, and, but I was by no means a game developer or an accessibility specialist. I was none of those things.
Mhm.
But it didn't stop me.
Mm-mm.
I faked it till I maked it.
Mhm.
This is before we had everything under the sun at our fingertips from an information acquisition perspective. I just small incremental baby steps to move the needle where I wanted. And I think there are so many people out there that need to hear, you're never going to get permission to change the world. The world is the way it is because it suits people in power. And I made so many enemies in creation of AbleGamers.
Really? That surprises
Absolutely.
me.
Because I was successful, and
Gotcha. Okay, that tracks.
because I was successful, because I didn't have a PhD. Who are you to talk about? I'm a person with disabilities and I play video games. That means I'm pretty qualified to understand how people with disabilities play video games.
That's right.
Like, I don't need a PhD, and this led me to this realization, which is, don't wait for permission. That so many people out there, and I want to say this is especially to our people that identify as female.
Mhm.
We raise our girls to wait for permission. And I've given leadership talks, and I'm saying something, I'm not meaning to sound controversial. I'm saying what needs to be heard. Guys are taught to just go get them. Like, we're unstoppable.
Yes. In fact, I teach my friends and women how to stop saying sorry. Because we just
Exactly.
say sorry. It's that same energy you're talking about.
But there are so many, like, but I say to the women that are listening,
Yeah.
permission's never going to come. No
Yeah.
man is going to ever come, but you're trained to wait for that, and that's what
That's
kills
right.
me. And so,
Mhm.
cancel me if we need to, but I just think it needs to be heard. If you have a good idea, there is so much information at your fingertips right now on how to get from nothing to something without
Correct.
having a degree in anything.
That's so right.
So if you see
That's,
a right,
and
if you see a
AI is
wrong,
helping push that along if you know what questions to ask.
I think AI just fast forwards it a bit, but AI was trained on all the information that's already out there.
That's right.
And so if you see a wrong that you want to right and say, I don't know where to start, trust me, you can watch a YouTube video on how to start
That's
a
right.
nonprofit
That's right.
today.
Yep.
I mean, I filled out the nonprofit IRS form by downloading another nonprofit's IRS form and said, how did they answer this question? Here's how I would answer this question. This is before AI. This was 23 years ago. All the information is out there.
Yeah, I know. So did you think when you created AbleGamers, like that one act of care would become like such a movement?
What it dawned on me was that my friend Stephanie wasn't alone. And this really ties into what we said before. The real mission that I set to do was not to make sure people with disabilities play video games.
Right.
Because honestly, how people with disabilities play video games is a first world problem. What I set out to solve was how people with disabilities play video games in order to connect with people around them.
Yes.
And really the social aspects of gaming. Gaming today is so social, is so driven by who else is online, by the online content, by the online presence of other people.
Yeah.
And people with disabilities are 54% more likely to be socially isolated than their non-disabled counterparts. And that is in a sea of where we're all socially isolated.
Yeah.
So if I can enable someone to play Fortnite and make a friend,
yeah,
that's the win that I set out to solve.
I love that. I do. I really love that thought of it. I think you're right. And I think I see my own child. I have one kid. He'll be 15. And, you know, it's one of these things where they will have their, you know, phone on, you know, no camera because they're just talking to their friends while they're playing. They have their phone and their computer, you know, and it is so sweet to see her, honestly, you know, like, you know, them, you know, we're working on some new pronouns, so I float a little bit, but overall it is about connection.
I test this theory all the time. I used to ask, like, who plays more than one game? And, you know, when you kind of ask that to a large audience, especially a large audience of fellow gamers, you know, the vast majority of the people would raise their hand. And then I would say, who chooses what to play at any given time based on who's online?
Oh,
And
interesting.
about 2/3 of the hands would stay up. And I would say, that means you made a social decision, not a game decision.
So interesting.
You chose to play this game versus this game because you valued this person being online.
Yeah, because you're like, hell yeah, that dude's online.
Exactly.
I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm so excited because they have so much fun playing together.
It might not even be my favorite game, but I like hanging around with that person.
Yeah, they have fun with them. I totally I get that. And going back to the relationship thing, I think being in a healthy, happy relationship involves play also. I think that is a big part of that, you know, is like not losing each individual chapter of our life just because we're in some adult, you know, we're now in an adult relationship. I think playing can connect couples also, as you probably are aware. What's something that you and your husband do that is considered play? And obviously, you know, keep it G-rated here, Mark.
Well, I mean, we do a lot of walks and stuff together
Mhm.
and things like that. I mean it when I say I can't miss you if you don't leave.
Mhm.
Hubby and I are playing different games right now. We love playing the same game, but I'm really fortunate I married a gamer, so sometimes it's just us sitting in the office back to back playing our respective video games, and him going, "Hey, I'm going
It's
into the
great.
kitchen. You want anything?" And I'm like, "Yeah, can I have some water?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And like that's kind of a good Saturday as far as we're concerned.
That's sweet.
We play around our dog, and if you believe in reincarnation as your religious structure, ask to come back as a gay couple's corgi. It is a win. It
I would
is a
agree. I always say
win.
my dogs are lucky to have me. My dog especially, he's very comfortable up on the bed now. But so in with you, like what is the difference between helping people and empowering people, in your opinion?
Well, I think what I do is a lot of empowering people because I really am a teach a man to fish kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I also think there is something more lasting when you have ownership in your success and your progress.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lesson that I learned very young is, in the summertime, I grew up in Texas, and I used to mow lawns in the summer, and I saved up and bought a $100 lawnmower, and I mowed grass and everything like that. And I took care of that $100 cheap lawnmower like it was a brand new Mercedes as a
Mm-hmm.
as a 14-year-old kid because I'd worked hard to earn it. So I'm a big systems person and creating systems that allow people to advocate for themselves, create
Mm-hmm.
systems that allow people to get, like, I don't want to hand someone success. I want to hand them an opportunity to come sit at the table and work towards that success. I think that's really important to have ownership in the win. It feels better that way.
What responsibility comes with being a pioneer? I know you said people are really jerks about things, but
Never betraying the mission that you set
mm-hmm.
out to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, while I'm no longer in gaming, I left AbleGamers in October of 2024 to new leadership after running it for 20 years. I pivoted to do my other thing, which was, I had largely changed an industry for the better. Right now, game companies are creating rich, accessible experiences that include people with disabilities. They don't need me to tell them to do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing it on their own. Is to pivot, take the lessons I learned and start moving on to other industries and continuing forward with that is what I think I owe
Mm-hmm.
being that pioneer to, which is taking those lessons that I learned and moving to the next thing and continuing to apply those lessons to change more.
Mm-hmm. I love the book Failing Forward. Have you ever read that?
I tried.
You failed, but
I
you kept
failed.
moving forward.
I
I
think
just, but
I
that, but
tried
that,
because I think
that
I
quote.
understood most of it already
Yeah, probably. I mean,
because I kind of did it.
that's, I mean, I just appreciate the tone of that though, is like to continue to learn, grow. We must fail in order to grow and learn, so, and then hopefully apply it. Hopefully the growth piece is where we then begin to apply it. But I'm curious, within that time frame of you failing and growing and moving forward, was there a moment where you almost quit?
Absolutely.
Mm,
Absolutely almost quit because it was hard. Like
mm-hmm,
creating something out of nothing is a tremendous amount of work. I didn't take a
mm-hmm.
vacation for 10 years because I had a full time job. Up until the last 6 years um, at Able Gamers, I had a full time job. Able Gamers
Wow.
was my side hustle. So I didn't take a vacation for 10 years because all of my PTO I used to travel for AbleGamers. All of, I say AbleGamers wouldn't exist without the amazing support of my husband, because he took care of our household. So I could come home from my day job and work my night job and my weekend job. And I didn't have to worry about the modernity of running a household, because my husband largely took care of that.
Sweet.
But it was just a ton of hard work, and it was a lot of thankless work. Oftentimes, it was a lot of thankless work. And the reward was seeing people enabled. The reward was enabling people to connect more deeply with the world around them, and that's what kept me going.
How do you stay hopeful then when progress feels like that?
It's a really hard question, because I don't know if I wake up every day as hopeful as I used to be.
What is killing the hope right now for you?
Just the overall wins that we are in right now. I think seeing some of the regression that we are living through is really, really tough to kind of keep going sometimes.
If you were to tell our beautiful queer youth out there, in just this moment, just thinking about failure and that, taught you what success, that success never could, or trying to feel hopeful, or they're feeling hopeless right now, what would you tell a little Mark out there in the middle of Iowa or in the middle of, South Mississippi, who is, kind of in it?
What you're seeing is the death throes of a dying institution. And its biggest enemy is time, and time never stops. I'm hopeful, because I truly believe what I just said. We are seeing the death throes of a dying institution, thought process, whatever, that every day has less and less control of the world around us, not because people are fighting harder, even though I believe that they are. It is because time marches ever forward, and those that are fighting this fight have the least of that resource among us. I'm trying to be as not mean as possible in saying this, but this is driven by ideology that is prevalent in those 80 years and older. And time is slowly correcting it. So to that, keep your head down, be you. Don't worry. Time is going to correct it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. And stay as, like you said, head down in a sense, but don't we want them to stand up and fight also? Like, we want them to feel empowered.
You can be empowered and safe.
Yeah. Yeah. Go for it.
And vote.
Yes.
Because,
if you're of age.
Well, I mean, at this point, I don't care if you're of age. Vote anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Just vote.
Everyone screams voter fraud. Let's make it real.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Like a bunch of 16-year-olds voting at this point.
I know.
But if you don't like the world that you live in, you can change it. You can change it through advocacy. You can change it through voting. I remind everyone all the time, this last election, apathy won. Because more people that were eligible to vote, more people who were eligible to vote didn't vote than either candidate got.
Mm-hmm.
So who won?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Apathy.
Mm-hmm.
Young people.
Mm-hmm.
Who won?
Mm-hmm.
Apathy won.
Yeah.
And this is the consequences of apathy.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Gosh, I didn't know we were going to go Debbie Downer on this whole thing.
No, I don't think it's Debbie Downer. I mean, they're important pieces, and I think you have such a unique view that I just want to ask because I think it's pretty fascinating because I could ask you all the questions of like, what's one thing most people misunderstand about accessibility? And
No,
that's,
please don't. It's all
yeah,
been
you know what I
spoken
mean?
for.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to ask those of you because I know your depth. Like, it's just cool. And I want to hear your voice because I think it's really important. One thing that I can say with your voice, like, what's one simple thing every organization listening today could do this week to become more inclusive?
Find the people with disabilities in your workforce and ask them how to accommodate them stronger.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, just simple question.
Give them a seat at the table.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you could sit down with your younger self now, this is you, for one cup of coffee, or what would you drink back then? But what would you tell him about becoming the man he was always meant to be?
You will heal and get better.
Mm. And it sounds like you will be loved for years to come.
That for sure.
Your husband
Or
sounds really cool. Hey,
we have
this is our
a deep abiding tolerance for each other, is what we say jokingly.
Okay, now we're gonna do the fun rapid fire round.
Okay.
See, I knew we'd have a little fun at the end. I told you. So no overthinking, just first answer, coffee or tea, by the way.
Coffee all day long.
What do you put in it?
Oh, I like my coffee like I like my men, sweet and creamy.
I love that. Brings me back to the movie Airplane, where that quote originated in a different way, but we won't mention it. All the 80s were so wrong, weren't they?
Yeah, it's still a good movie though.
It's a great movie. I was gonna say early bird or night owl, but I'll just ask for the audience, but I already know.
Early bird.
Yep. Favorite video game of all time. See, I'm not asking about the book you're reading, but I'm gonna ask you this.
Satisfactory.
That's a name of a video game?
Yeah, it's about creating a factory.
Oh, Satisfact. That actually sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How old do you like what age do people really like that? Like, would my
All
kid like it, you
ages.
think?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. If your kid likes to micromanage things, feels like 90-degree angles should be a thing, feels like they wanted to.
Wait, how do you
Yes.
know? She's on the spectrum. So yes, all
No,
those things.
it's the greatest game out there for that.
That's
Like
cool.
I can
Okay.
spend hours making a factory be like
Wow, I love that. I think actually she would probably really dig that. Okay. So so my next question was one game everyone should play. It sounds like Satisfactory.
no, don't play it. If you have a life, don't play this game at all.
Okay.
No.
So what's one game we should all try then?
Candy Crush.
Yeah, I used to love that
Yeah.
game. So fun. I'm into Royal, the hell's it called? Now I have to go to my phone. Let's see. Royal Match. I'm into and collect them all.
Okay.
I think they're fun. Super fun.
Biggest
pet. Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Biggest pet peeve.
I don't have just one. I have hundreds of pet peeves.
That says everything about you.
So I'm not going to answer that question because I'll offend somebody.
Favorite comfort food.
Favorite comfort food is spaghetti with white bread.
Okay, classic like Wonder Bread.
Yeah, like I make spaghetti white bread tacos. I had it for dinner tonight.
Wow, I saw a video today that talked about taking garlic bread but like raw garlic bread, right? The bread, and making lasagna in it. Like a
Uh,
big French bread and putting lasagna
I
in
don't
there
know.
and
There's
cooking it.
just something about noodle sandwiches that are just very satisfying.
I will take your word for it. It sounds disgusting.
It's fine.
But I totally believe that that is something delicious for you. What's the most used app on your phone right now?
Um, the audio bookshelf app.
Okay. I love that. I love Audible books. They're so fun. I'm dyslexic, so I read slow.
So I
Okay.
listen primarily to audiobooks because I also was dyslexic.
Yeah. If your life had a theme song, what would it be?
Living on a Prayer.
Classic Bon John. Why can't I say that?
John Bon Jovi.
Yeah, John Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi is where. What is Zoltar predicting for your future? This was
That
my
my
favorite
wish will
question.
be granted.
I love it.
So
And then,
I'm actually building a cosplay from the movie Big Zoltar as we speak.
okay, that's super dope. My favorite video game, though, of all time and still remains Galaga. I know. What did he say?
Come on over. For a small fee, Zoltar will give you a wealth of wisdom.
I love it. Well, will he play Galaga with me? Probably.
I don't have a Galaga, I don't
I
believe.
know. I was looking at your
Well, actually, I
machines.
did. I
Yeah.
think it's right here.
Ooh, it's just not on, but that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, last question. What does living out loud mean to you, Mark?
Being your authentic self. I don't apologize for being gay.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. I really enjoyed having you on today, and I appreciate your honesty, your transparency, and trusting me with whatever was going to be asked today. So I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was super fun.
If you liked this episode, please hit the follow button and remember, sharing is caring. Until next week, stay proud, stay loud.